The apartment was cold, not just the kind of cold that makes you pull your jacket tighter, but the kind that seeps into your bones. Mark Daniels, a former Army medic, lay on the living room floor with nothing but a thin blanket under him. On either side of him, nestled against his arms, were his twin daughters Ellie and Gracie, both just 9 months old. They had no crib, no fancy nursery, just a folded comforter to keep the chill away. Mark didn't mind. In fact, he preferred it this way. If they stirred in the night, if a cough or cry escaped their lips, he'd feel it instantly. That was his job now, and not soldier, not medic, just dad. The rent was late again. He'd been piecing together odd jobs after leaving the service, but between baby formula, diapers, and medical bills for Grace's asthma, there wasn't much left. Still, Mark had a rule he'd go without before they did. Tonight, he'd skip dinner. The knock. It came in the middle of the night. 3 sharp raps against the door. Mark gently pulled himself up, careful not to wake the girls, and opened it. Standing there was a tall man in a dark overcoat, Lucas Hayes, the landlord, a millionaire real estate developer who owned half the block. He was known for evictions and cold contracts, not compassion. Mark braced himself. "Mr. Daniels," Lucas said, glancing inside. "We need to talk." "I know," Mark replied, voice tight. "The rent's coming, But Lucas didn't answer right away. His eyes had drifted past Mark, a broken bar, to the 2 sleeping bundles on the floor. The freeze. Lucas stepped inside without a word. His polished shoes clicked against the worn wood until he stopped beside the girls. They were wrapped in mismatched blankets, their tiny chests rising and falling in perfect rhythm. One had her fist tucked under her chin, the other clutched a stuffed bear missing an ear. Lucas crouched down slowly, as if afraid to disturb the moment, and for a long time, he didn't speak. When he finally did, his voice was different, softer. "They sleep here, on the floor." Mark swallowed hard. "It's warmer when I'm next to them. The heater's been out for weeks. I didn't want to bother you. I figured I'd fix it myself when I could." Something flickered across Lucas's face. He stood abruptly, turned, and walked out without another word. The twist. The next morning, Mark woke to the sound of footsteps, dozens of them. When he opened the door, a team of workers was unloading furniture, appliances, even toys. At the center of it all was Lucas, carrying a brand new crib under one arm. "A broken bar, I don't understand," Mark stammered. "You don't have to," Lucas said. "Years ago, when I came back from deployment, I was in your exact shoes. 2 kids, no money, and a floor for a bed. Someone helped me. Now it's my turn." Mark blinked, stunned. "I can't afford a—" "It's not a bill," Lucas interrupted. "It's a gift. The rent's covered for the next 6 months. Heater's fixed. And if you need work, a broken bar, I own a few construction sites." "You're a medic, right?" "We always need someone who knows how to take care of people." The climax. Mark's chest tightened. He'd been taught to keep his emotions in check, but right now, with his daughters giggling in the arms of strangers who were setting up their new beds, the dam broke. "Thank you," he whispered, his voice cracking. "I didn't think people like you." "People like me?" Lucas smiled faintly. "We're all just people, Mark. Sometimes we forget a broken bar until we see something that reminds us." He looked at the twins. "A broken bar reminded me." The ending. That night, for the first time in months, the apartment was warm. Mark tucked Ellie and Grace into their new cribs, kissed their foreheads, and sat in a real bed of his own. And as he drifted off to sleep, he realized something. Sometimes, the smallest acts of kindness aren't small at all. They can change the course of a life. If you enjoyed this story, remember, someone out there might need your kindness today. Be the reason they believe in good again. The apartment was cold, the kind of cold that crept under your skin and stayed there. Mark Daniels lay on the living room floor, a thin blanket beneath him, his arms curved protectively around his 9-month-old twin daughters, Ellie and Grace. They didn't have a crib or a nursery, just a folded comforter and the warmth of his body between them and the chill of the night. He didn't mind. If they stirred, if a cry slipped out, he'd know instantly. That was his life now. Not soldier, not medic, just dad. The rent was late again. Between formula, diapers, and Grace's asthma medication, there wasn't much left from the odd jobs he managed to scrap together. He'd skipped dinner tonight, But that was nothing new. As long as the girls had full bellies, it didn't matter. 3 sharp knocks came at the door. Mark froze, glancing down at the girls before carefully peeling himself away. He opened it to find Lucas Hayes, the landlord, his dark overcoat crisp in the dim hallway light. Lucas was a millionaire, a man known for buying up blocks and evicting tenants without a second thought. "Mr. Daniels," Lucas said, looking past him into the room. "We need to talk." "I know," Mark started. "The renta." Lucas didn't answer. His gaze had locked on the bundles on the floor. He stepped inside slowly, his polished shoes tapping against the worn boards until he stopped beside the sleeping girls. They were wrapped in mismatched blankets, tiny faces relaxed in perfect trust.